Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Mario Malchiot's here, just shaking his head, thinking, wow, how did I get involved with this? What's wrong, Mario?
Oh, no, nothing is wrong. I'm just listening to you. I love it, man, when I listen to you guys, man. Oh, my God. You guys, you put a smile on my face. Let's say it like this. That's the most important.
You're the only one, but thank you, Mario.
Thank you. One of one. Thank you.
First question, was Hansi Flick right to complain about La Liga's schedule? Is he just crying like Ancelotti and Real Madrid? This is Hansi Flick complaining about the timing of the game in between the two Inter matches, saying, why does it have to be at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night? Why can't it be earlier?
I think that's in the context of what they do in other leagues.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes this a valid argument for Hansi Flick, in that, look, we can make this easy for everybody. And you can make it easier for us, which we're representing this league in the European competition. And so it would be best for this league to have teams represented in the final of the Champions League. Now, it's not the responsibility of La Liga to look out after Barcelona, but I think if you look at the bigger picture and you look that Germany does it, and France, and Italy, and they do make the special scheduling decisions to accommodate enough time between playing the game, resting, and being ready for Champions League competition in the midweek. And if they do it elsewhere, I think it's the point of Hansi Flick. Why can't we do it here?
But the problem is, if I've paid a lot of money and I have the TV rights, I want the big teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid playing in primes. I don't care about the Champions League. I don't care how they go on that. I want as many eyes on my product as possible. And that's the Barcelona. That is everyone's problem. You've sold your not your soul, but you are the one who have done this deal, so you've got to live with the consequences.
Yes, but that's short-sighted, because Barcelona featuring, and whether it's Barcelona, whether it's Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, whoever it may be, featuring in the final of the Champions League, elevates not only the brand of Barcelona, but it elevates the brand of La Liga as well.
But Real Madrid, the most successful team in the Champions League history, have never been accommodated to before. Why start now if it hasn't been a problem?
But I see your point. You asked me about the perspective of Hansi Flick.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just giving
And I'm giving you the perspective of Hansi Flick.
The flip side.
I don't know. Are you negotiating for the television companies then? I don't know.
If someone's give me 10%,
Why don't we, it's very easy. Why don't we ask him, Dan, do you like beautiful football?
Of course I love beautiful football. That's why I've had to go to the Premier League this season, but that's
then
another
you need
topic.
To take care of, then you need to take, but then you need to take care about the players to make sure that they also have the ability to produce that for you on TV.
Don't sell your rights to TV companies who can dictate what time you kick off. Don't be so greedy.
I understand, but sometimes the TV also got to think about us. You understand? Okay, I'm not playing anymore, but at that time, think about also, I don't want to get injured. I want to perform then. I want to play good. I want to win. And I want to show you and entertain you so you watch the TV.
I want you on prime time where I can charge the most for the commercials. That's all I want.
Dan, yes. If I may, just for a second, just a quick reminder.
Yes.
We're one of those television companies that pays for the rights of La Liga.
Yeah.
So
but we don't make the decision. We don't make the big decision. Okay. We ride on the coattails of others making decisions.
We're not in that boardroom then?
No, the 10%'s gone now for sure. All of you have made the point that United's players are not good enough. Other clubs are succeeding and showing that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Is this because of the expectation that comes with being at United? Is the shirt too heavy? What do you think, Mario? We've seen, obviously, Wolves coming, brought in a new manager. He turned things around with the same players. Why hasn't Amorim done that at United?
Yeah, because, you know, what you said, like, the expectation is high. You got to deliver straight away. And sometimes, okay, you need time. But Man United is not the club that's going to give you time. Why? Because if we look back at history, that's where everybody goes. I mean, Ferguson at the time when he kicked off, a legend, you know, legendary. But when he kicked off, it was hard for him. And then he turned things around and made it into an extraordinary team. Now, so many coaches been in, out, in, out, in, out. It's almost like incredible how many changes they had. And no one has the touch, you know, quick enough to make things happen. So, yeah, it is definitely a club to play there. I think you got to be ready. And if you're not ready, you can look at some of the players who are there. They are, in form, out form, in form really quickly. Why? Because they finally, now trying to understand and saying like, this is a big club. You got to perform straight away.
It's Nottingham Forest, men for men, the squad, men for men. Are they significantly better men for men than Manchester United?
No.
And so it is fair to demand from the players and the club and the manager for that matter, that if this team with limited resources and limited talent level, they're currently sitting third in the Premier League, why are we all the way down here? So that can be a fair question to be asked of everybody across the board, Manchester United, including the players.
I think to that point, for United, man for man, they're not that dissimilar to Nottingham Forest, and that's just where they are right now. I think with Manchester United comes an expectation of consistency. Now, if Forest finish 14th next season, nobody's going to be that scathing towards Forest because that's the level of their players, and that's kind of what comes with an inconsistency. You have a great season one year and then not so good the following. That's kind of where Manchester United are right now. 14th and hoping to have a good season to finish higher up.
If you're Kevin De Bruyne, Shaq, would you stay in England, go to Saudi Arabia, or go to America?
If I were Kevin De Bruyne, I'd go to Saudi Arabia.
Why is that, Shaq?
Why are you saying it that way?
I'm not saying, but what way? I just said I would go to Saudi Arabia. I didn't say it any way in particular.
All right.
Why would you go to Saudi Arabia?
Why is that, Shaq?
Because I'd get paid.
There you are. But surely you've been paid enough in life. Kevin De Bruyne is not short of a couple of pennies.
I'm sure he's not. But what's the deciding factor here?
Life?
He's Belgian. He's not home. He's living away from home, whether it's England or the US. He's away from home for a couple of years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia. Where are you going, Ali?
I don't know, but every time that Shaq is giving you the shoulder shrug, it's like millions in the contract. He's like, yeah, okay.
I'm not home.
Where are you going?
Well, if I'm him, I go back to Germany. But that's not one of the options there.
Okay.
But let me paint the picture for Germany.
But it's not an option, as you said, so let's not even dwell on it.
No, that's all right.
You just love Bundesliga, that's all.
Hashtag FC Extra Time.
All over. Trying to get 10% of the Bundesliga.
If Florian Wirtz leaves Bayer Leverkusen, he leaves that role.
I don't think Germany was an option.
Is there not a D? D Germany? No?
The other.
All right, okay. Then I would say USA, baby.
USA?
USA.
Which club?
Oh, well, it's always the same answer. Inter Miami.
Yeah, they do have his discovery rights.
Of course they do.
Mario, what would you do?
What Chaka said, I will be strange if I would say no to Saudi Arabia because I went to Qatar as well. So I would say, yeah, that is definitely on the list. And if not, hey, guys, I moved to America, so it will be really bad if I say not to America. So yes, America will be definitely the other pick if I don't.
Right, so you picked all of them apart from England, Mario. That's what you picked.
No, I didn't pick England. I said. Okay, wait.
Exactly.
Slow down, then. Slow down. Then I go. Oh, you know what?
Out of these three, I'll pick two.
I'll pick two out of three. That was an option.
Saudi. I said Saudi.
Mario, what about Germany?
Saudi. No, it's too cold, Ali. Why I'm going to go to Germany? No, I leave that out.
What about Germany?
Mario, how impressive has Jurrien Timber's bounce back been this season after his horrible injury?
I think he's done really well. I think bouncing back from an injury, you understand that he went through. Look, beyond the injury, he was already a great talent. When you saw him in Holland playing, we already knew that this kid has more than just, the average. But the good thing I always like about players, because even back home sometimes, people like to make comments almost like sometimes you hear it's easy. No, coming to the Premier League is not easy. Coming from the Eredivisie into the Premier League is maybe, 4 steps up. It's not just one step up. And for him then to get injured, I hope it gave him the time, because clearly what we see him doing now, because it did it to me. I broke my foot too, and I had to watch. And watching sometimes helps us a lot because it preps us to be ready to know what our plan is going to be. And I think he had a great plan, and look how he's playing. He's comfortable and he's enjoying himself, and he's clearly playing in a team that plays, you know, a lot of great footballers you have in it, so he plays football now.
Mario, this season will be the second consecutive one where the newly promoted teams will get relegated the following season in the Premier League. What do the newly promoted teams need to do to survive the top flight next season? We, of course, saw Leeds and Burnley promoted today.
The quickest answer I will give you, stop thinking that you have to play the beautiful game like everybody else that's playing in the Premier League. Because all of them who come up, they quickly start thinking, oh, we have to make the pitch really big. We have to play beautiful football. I don't want to see that. I want to see teams that understand that when you come against, you know, regardless of who you play against, the first part of the season is the most important part. Don't focus on the second half. Don't focus after Christmas. Focus on before Christmas. And make sure you get enough points on the board, and then you can start to consider to say like, oh, maybe you have to do some other new tweaks. But in the beginning, don't tweak anything. Just play simple and go to win games. Don't try to play beautiful, like have a tic-tac. What, you're not Guardiola. You don't have the squad that is that big, so don't do that.
Stop it. Good advice for Chelsea. Final question. Shaka, tell me I'm wrong about Vicario. This person I suggest is not a Vicario fan. Didn't have a good day today.
No, I don't know what they're wrong about. What's...
You don't like him either?
I think he's all right.
Well, that's goodness me, Shaka.
Oh no, but I've never thought.
All right, he's all right.
This is like the worst Valentine's Day card ever.
Well,
I think you're all right.
I'll take your word for
that.
I'm not sure what's going on in your Valentine's Day.
Speaking from experience, don't write that.
You're all right, babe.
Okay.
You're all
right.
Yeah.
Oh, Vicario, you're all right.
Yeah, all right.
I thought he was
All right.
an average Premier League goalkeeper. I never thought he was top of the tree.
Then you can ask him even better.
Go on.
What would he done if you have the same qualities like Vicario? What would you have trained to become even better, Shaka?
Oh yeah. Or is it's just you can't?
I've never been convinced by Vicario kind of coming for crosses, leaving his line.
And can you coach that?
You can practice it.
But I could practice it, but you know. I mean,
All right. Well, you have different issues then.
Yeah. Starting with February 14th.
I don't think you're gonna get there anyway tonight.
I put my heels on.
I think physically, I'm not sure that.
Right. It's not a good start.
Yeah.
So what is he good at?
He's a good shot stopper. Yeah. But then, which is why I'm.
Well, which is what goalkeepers should be good at.
Well, to play in Premier League, you have to be a good shot stopper.
Yes.
I think it takes more than that, but which is why I kind of said what I said.
Yeah, you're all right.
That somehow traumatized you.
Well, he's all right.
Something else totally differently. Hey, I didn't mean to traumatize you.
You're all right, babe. You're all right.
You'll do.
Hello, Desha.
You guys are, oh my God. You see why I'm laughing then? You see why I'm smiling then? You see why I'm smiling? This kind of things. That's why I'm smiling.
You're smiling because you didn't say it.
That's commitment, Shaq.
ESPN FC will return to your screens tomorrow.
We don't know about Shaq.
Barcelona playing Mallorca. Lots to talk about, I'm sure, in that game.
Okay.
Head to Real Madrid against Getafe.